Well, hello, Oliver Tree. How we doing?
Doing amazing. How you doing, brother?
I am doing fantastic, thank you. So I'm coming to you here from Virginia Beach. My name's Waters, and where in the world are you joining us from? Because it looks very colorful.
I am in Los Angeles right now. I just got back from the Middle East, but this is a quilt that my grandmother knitted, and I wanted to get in touch with my roots and kind of show a little bit of my family. So this is a little bit of both those things.
Okay, I would even say a little bit might be an understatement with all of that going on back there. You are very, very in touch, my friend. Now, I wanted to thank you for taking a couple of minutes to be on the 757's only gluten-free radio show, as we call it.
Wow, I love it, man. I'm gluten free myself, so it's an honor.
Well, people like us got to stick together. Now, let's talk about some music, shall we? You've got a
Let's
new
do it.
song out. It's called Life Goes On. Hot 100 just started playing that. I actually played it on my show earlier tonight.
Thank
So
you.
it's fresh in my ears. It's bouncing around in my head. I keep going one cold day and then I wake up over and over again. I really wanted to get a little bit more in touch with those lyrics, though. What inspired Life Goes On? What is it really about?
So the original lyrics was actually "Life Goes Onion." And that was something that I see life is like an onion and it unravels and it has many layers to it. And the label, when I sent them the song, they sent it to the musicologist and they said, hey, there's already a song called Life Goes Onion. And this is going to be potentially a really big problem, a big lawsuit. So they had me change the lyrics. And it wasn't something that I really wanted to release as Life Goes On. But, since Life Goes Onion was already taken, it was something that was kind of forced. So that's kind of probably the main, most important thing you need to know about that song.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, could you describe your music for me using these three things: a color, a shape, and a smell?
Wow, that's a great question. Say the color would be black because I'm very emo right now. The
Okay.
shape would be circular because I have a very circular head, which is perfect for a bowl cut. And the smell would be very stinky. I haven't showered or wore deodorant for months. So I would say that would probably sum it up.
Were you musical as a kid? Is this a new thing for you? Tell me about your relationship with actually writing songs.
I've been making music since I was, well, as long as I can remember. I wrote my first classical piece and orchestra was around age 3. I've made over 40 albums and none of them have seen daylight. Life Goes On was the first official album I ever released. I was on hiatus for years. I got caught in bad record deals. I've had so many different evolutions from bands to being a DJ, rap groups to my old project Tree. And now it birthed out Oliver Tree, the amalgamation of all these things. And basically, what you have is, my 41st album was, Ugly is Beautiful, which wasn't really an album. In a lot of ways, it was a selected works, a bunch of songs taken from different time. It was recorded over 5 years, and the label basically made me package it as an album. And so my 42nd album, which will be my last album, Cowboy Tears, is what I've been working on. I just got back from the Middle East where I was finishing it, and just decided to get, another side of my other side of the family is cowboys. They live on a horse ranch, and I lived with them for 6 months during COVID. I channeled some of that and went back to my childhood where I spent summers there. And I just, I made this 6 foot tall guitar that I made with my bare hands, crafted it in my grandfather's shop, and just had some of my buddies come out and work on some music with me, and it ended up being, really a country album. So that's my first real album where it's a cohesive body of work that will ever see daylight, and a pretty good chance it will be my last.
So the first one was a little bit more of a greatest hits, you would say.
Well, they're okay. The songs are all right. I would say Cowboy Tears is more of a greatest hits, but yeah, I mean, that's subjective. Depends on who you're
Okay.
asking.
That's true. That's true. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing it. Now, Oliver, Thanksgiving is coming up, and for a guy who has put together, I guess, 42 albums now, really maybe sans the finishing touches on that 42nd one, but close enough to the ultimate answer to life, the universe, and everything. 42 albums. You probably have a lot to be thankful for. What are you thankful for heading into the winter of this year?
Well, I'll start off by saying for a guy like me, every day is Thanksgiving. I am so thankful for a million things: to be healthy, to be alive, to be creating art, to being able to have my art finally reach daylight. I had so many years of music that never was released because, whether it was bad record deals or not having a platform, I never was able to really do it. So being grateful that I can finally inspire people, and being grateful that, I can be able to help people learn to love themselves. And I mean, I'm grateful for a million things really, but those are probably at the top of the list.
All right. It's also another very important season. That's cuffing season. All the ladies, and I counted at least 5 of the guys, would like to know, are you single?
Well, I don't really get into my personal life, but I can't get into that. My personal life is something that I keep separate from this, and this is something that doesn't have anything to do with what I'm doing with my art.
Well, there's a third season that we're looking at, and that's Christmas season, also bearing down on us at 100 miles an hour. What is on your Christmas wish list if you celebrate?
Well, I think there's something you need to know about me. For a guy like me, every day is Christmas. So I'm getting packages in the mail. I'm getting new news of things that are even better than Christmas, like a little kid waking up on Christmas morning every day. So I live every day like it's Christmas. But, for me, it's about spending time with my family and going to travel. I love to travel. I love to get out of America. And so me and my parents are going to go somewhere crazy. And I can't reveal that yet, but I'm very excited to get the hell out of America.
That sounds exciting. What is your star sign, Oliver? Because I have a feeling that some people watching your stuff, watching your interviews, listening to your music, would probably like to know what role astrology plays in who you are.
Well, I'm actually not familiar with it. I don't know my star sign, but I'm not sure. In LA, every girl asks that, and sometimes they have a predetermined idea of who you are. And I think in a lot of ways, everyone is so unique. Everyone has such a different experience that I know that there may be some impacts made from when we were born, but also I think that every person has such different circumstances that it's hard to boil it all down to the star system. But, I think it's a good question. What star system am I from? Am I even from this planet? We don't know.
We don't. The jury remains out. Now, Oliver, if you're up for it, I'd like to play a quick game with you. A little round of Would You Rather. Sound good?
Let's go.
Okay. I'm going to give you 2 things. You just tell me which you'd prefer. Would you rather spend an entire day with Joe Exotic or with Carol Baskin?
Wow. It's a great question. Is there any way I can pick both? Basically, let me just say this. I would bring them together. We try to work out, let bygones be bygones. And I would try to just, get rid of all the, bad animosity between the two parties, and try to find a way for them to meet and see eye to eye. Cause they both, let's be honest, let's face it, they both love tigers, and finding out a way for them to both help the tiger community together.
Makes sense. And if I may, you are kind of sporting a little bit of that signature Joe Exotic look yourself.
Thank you. But really the inspiration is this guy, Chili Bowl Mullet Man. And you can look him up online, but this dude is a legend. He inspired me. It wasn't Joe Exotic. It wasn't Yolandi from Antwoord. It was Chili Bowl Mullet Man. So if you don't know him, look him up. He's a true legend.
Well, hopefully we'll get some more Antwoord haircuts from you in the near future. Let's keep going with the Would You Rather. Would you rather go to space with Mark Zuckerberg or with Jeffrey Bezos?
Wow, these are really good. This is a tough one for me. I would pick both, and I would have them go into space and fight till death, basically. I mean, I think it would be a very interesting, speculation to see the two head honchos, if you will. I consider Elon Musk at the top of the tier, but I think these two guys going at it toe to toe, seeing who the better man is. I would like to see that. I know a lot of people would.
I completely agree with that. Would you rather do a song with Kanye West or with Nickelback?
Man, you got me stumped on this one. I would say I would pick both of them. I would do a song together. I'm thinking something where it's a mixture of rock and 808 heartbeats, the heartbreak sound, really. And I would mix the two, mesh them together, and I would do me for the choruses. First verse would be Kanye, and then, of course, second verse would be Nickelback. And I think you'd get a really magical combination with all three of us together.
I would pay a significant amount of money to hear that. So if your people hit their people, you let me know about that, okay?
I will. And I'll try to get it to be debuted on your show, because I think this would be the perfect place to let this song be heard by the world.
I feel like if I helped you bring that abomination into the world, then yes, I share the burden.
Abomination, dude. This is going to change the world as we know it. It would be a utopian society if this song could be made.
I guess we can't know for sure until we've heard it. So that's the thing. That's the thing. All right, last one for you. And would you rather, Oliver, and thanks for doing this. Would you rather, and this is the classic, would you rather fight 20 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Wow. Man, these are good, man. I'm trying to think right now. And if you want to know the truth, I'd probably go with both. I could see myself taking out the little ones first, just like, I'd flick them, I'd karate kick them. And then with the big guy, I'd need to set up a booby trap or something like that. And maybe dig a hole in the ground, cover it with one of my quilts, and kind of dance around till I could lead it into that hole. And once I got it there, then I would take care of it, train it, build a relationship with the animal, and probably ride it around everywhere for, cowboy tears. I think it'd be a great animal to be partnered with, and potentially a great vehicle to ride around on.
That would definitely make your live show probably 100 times better. And I'm sure, it's already amazing with everything going on, but everyone's live show could use a horse-sized duck, right?
I love that idea. And, our live show, it's got everything. We got belly dancing. We've got WWF wrestling, but what we don't have is a horse-sized duck. And I think that's maybe what's missing.
We'll work on that. Last one for you, Oliver. I've asked you a lot of questions. Would you like to ask me anything?
How did you grow your beard out so incredibly? It looks so thick, so lush. How did you do it? Is any tip for a guy like me who's growing his facial hair?
One day at a time, and the blessings of the beard gods, I believe. Because, it's never looked this good. And thank you for noticing.
It's amazing. Well, I've been using these experimental growth hormones, and I've been trying to grow mine out. And I'm incredibly impressed with the results. But, it could be thicker, could be, more bushy. And I'm thinking I try to get it down like one of those metal goatees that go down to about a foot in length. And I'm thinking maybe that's the next thing for me, but I'm trying to maybe take some of those hair growing vitamins as well, try to get to the next step. So I'm looking into it, but no tips out as far as, vitamins, any kind of alternative methods, if you will.
I mean, you could try sacrificing a goat. That actually worked for me, but what works for me doesn't work for everybody. I mean, it's important to keep in mind. So I would say that if you're looking for beard growth, I mean, first things first, you gotta appease the beard gods. And second thing second, I think it's just a roll of the dice. I think some people are meant to have beards and others not so much. You know what I mean?
Well, I disagree with that, because the growth hormone has shown me that anyone can grow a beard. I couldn't grow facial hair before that. And I mean, look at this thing. It's looking pretty clean. If I don't.
That's true. Is that hormone the same thing that Barry Bonds used back in the day?
So there's some discrepancy with that. I'm not sure if it's the exact same formula, but I know that there is some similar in the compound. Also, I know Kanye West uses a similar one. It's funny you mentioned him, because he had a goatee, and I think Nickelback singer also had a goatee. And I talked to a doctor in the Middle East. There's a guy in Morocco who introduced me to this, and he's worked with all different types of celebrities. And I know he mentioned Kanye, and now that I think of it, I believe he mentioned singer of Nickelback. So I'm not sure, because I don't know him by name, but he mentioned a couple bands there, and I think Nickelback may have actually been one of them.
All right. Well, we covered a lot of ground here, Oliver, and I got to say, I learned a lot about you. I hope that you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did.
I enjoyed it thoroughly, man. Thanks for all the support, and I'm super excited to get out there, hang. Maybe we'll, drink some brews, of course, gluten-free, and, have a little partay.
Well, until that fateful day, Oliver, I appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Have a great one. Peace, bro.
All right. Peace.